Okay, so this is actually my first time doing any sort of VOD review, but I think Jax is a pretty standard top lane matchup that every Rengar should know the counterplay against. And the reason I say that is because there's really only two things you need to keep track of in the Jax matchup, and that's how many Conqueror stacks he has and the cooldown on his E, or Counter Strike. His E has a base cooldown of 16 seconds, level 1. That's pretty long. It's a large window that you can capitalize on. But because of the Conqueror stacks, he'll beat you in any sort of prolonged trade. That's why Rengar goes Grasp against Jax, so you can just force small trades and really beat him up in the laning phase and try to just avoid him from getting any sort of scaling or lead on you. Because if that happens, then he'll just run you down in mid to late game, beat your ass. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so here, normally Rengar wants to pull the minions up into the bushes, or I guess in between the bushes, level 1, so that if Jax wants to CS, he has to walk up into here, into Rengar's zone of control. It doesn't work out too well here, because he doesn't really let the minions stack, because he tries to avoid hitting them and pushing the lane level 1. The reason he doesn't want to push level 1 is because, 1, Jax's goal is to just free farm in this lane early levels because he knows that he gets beat by Rengar, and 2, because Rengar knows that Lee Sin most likely started topside because Jax was late to lane and came from the red buff direction. So he has a small window at the beginning of the lane where he can play very aggressive, but after that, like after 2 minutes 10 seconds, he has to be a little bit more wary of a level 2, maybe level 3 Lee Sin gank. Because Lee Sin will really fuck you up early. And now here, you see Jax is going for the minions. Rengar has 3 out of 4 ferocity, so he knows any trade he takes, unless he wastes his savagery on a Jax Counter-Strike, he will win the trade. He jumps without even having his Q cooldown up. That's because he knows that Jax will use his Counter-Strike as soon as he sees the Rengar jump. So now he goes back in towards his minions, try to baiting Jax towards the bush, so that he can get another jump off and double Q him, get a kill. Doesn't work out too well because this Jax plays a little safe, but he jumps to the minion, hits Jax, it just knows his damage well enough that he can secure the kill even on top of the Jax flash. 1 auto from death, no problem. Now here, really good by J4 to come up here. He sees that Jax instantly TP. He knows Jax has no flash. So now Rengar can go back, pick up a long sword, whatever, and just TP back to lane immediately. And it's a free kill, right? Really stupid by Jax to just go immediately in here. He knows it's possible for J4 to be topside. If he started bot side, usually the jungler will be around here at 230, 250. So Jax should have warded here and made sure, but he gets a bit greedy and knows that he wins this trade solo with the minion advantage. Doesn't work out too well for him. So Rengar pushes him up to the bushes. Now Jax has no counter strike, no flash, and it's a free kill. So now they're pushing this wave into the turret, so Jax misses out on the CS and XP. He's gonna miss out on the cannon minion, maybe a couple other small minions. Now Rengar is super ahead, picks up another Doran's Blade. So the reason he does this is because, like I said before, your goal against Jax is to just shut him down as hard as you can early. That's kind of tough to do against Lee Sin because Lee Sin has such a strong early presence. So getting another Doran's Blade will just make it a bit safer for you to get all-ins, maybe even look for 1v2s. It's possible. So here, Jax has a huge minion wave built up. So Rengar is trying to bait out the counter-strike without really going for any sort of all-in, because he knows he'll lose. So you see there, he baits out the counter-strike, blocks a bit of the damage with his W, and then just double Qs his face, and Jax is almost dead. So that's why you want to be a little bit careful of Jax's E cooldown, because if you didn't think that Jax had his counter-strike up right there, then some Rengars might have gone for the double Q combo immediately, instead of waiting to use the empowered W to cleanse the stun. And if you use double Q right there inside of Jax's minions, and you get stunned, Rengar probably dies there. So again, Jax counter-strike cooldown, most important part of this lane. So Rengar goes for the Tiamat. He's super far ahead of this Jax, even though they're the same level. Rengar can just jump in, clear this wave, and win the trade with Jax at the same time. Okay, so Rengar doesn't kill the cannon here, so the minions stay pushed here. So Jax's minions will come up ahead of the river, so if Jax wants to get any of the CS, he'll have to walk up into Rengar's jump range and be susceptible to another J4 gank. As you can see, Jax still has no flash. And there, baits out Jax's counter-strike. Doesn't really accomplish anything. So, with the level lead that Rengar has, he can just ult, knowing Jax has no flash, no escapes, and just kill him. Now Lee Sin has to cover the lane. J4 is going to go for his red buff, and it's not looking too hot for Red Team at this point. So here, Rengar's got 2 levels on the Jax. There's absolutely 0 chance you lose any sort of trade unless you really mess up. So you just lead in with a Q, E. Jax doesn't use his counter-strike in time, so Rengar can actually get his empowered Q off and really chunk him up there. Jax level 6 is something you want to really worry about though, because the extra armor that it gives on top of the extra damage every 3rd auto really makes Jax scary for all-ins against Rengar. If you go for an all-in when Jax has his counter-strike up and some Conqueror stacks and his ult, you're probably going to lose, unless you're really ahead. Like I said before, that's why you go Grasp. You're primarily looking for short trades against Jax until you can just burst him when his counter-strike is down. Counter-strike is down, sorry. also, just look at the map, right? They're fighting around Dragon, Lee Sin's dead, Rengar has free reign to just push up here, hit the turret, Jax is even recalling. He's gonna miss, or he's gonna TP back, actually. So Rengar, even with his lead, he's not being greedy here. He sees he is half health. Jax just bought some items, so he's just gonna recall here, get back to lane, and keep beating up Jax. And also you can see he's going for a Black Cleaver rush. The reason he's doing Black Cleaver instead of something like Death's Dance, which is kind of typical, you'll see this guy do it a lot in particular. But if you're already going double Dorans, you don't want to build a Death's Dance, because that's just kind of going all in for sustain, and it'll leave you pretty squishy, especially against a Lee Sin, who can just kind of kick you, lock you out from using your W, and a Jax counter-strike. It's just kind of a recipe for disaster if you're going all in on sustain against that team. And also the extra health, move speed, CDR is essential for beating Jax and for being a front line for your Vayne and Katarina. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Rengar's level 8, Lee Sin's level 6. With the cooldown, or I guess with the armor reduction on his ult, Rengar can just kill either one of them here. The reason he doesn't jump on Jax is because Lee Sin's level 6, he'll just get kicked into turret. So instead he jumps on Lee, bursts him up. So now Jax is forced out of lane, Lee Sin has to either go back to the jungle and sustain a bit, or also recall, leaving bot lane open to plays. You can see J4 here looking for that. Lee Sin just covers there to prevent Rengar from taking the first turret, which would have been huge. Jax is now super far behind, 20 CS, 4 kills. With Rengar's lead, he's tanking out, he can just run up, get first turret solo gold for free. J4 sees that, so he goes for the kill on Jax, forces out the flash. Now Jax has to actually go out of lane. Rengar gets a free first turret, like I said. I want to be a little careful when you're still pushing up here. If you get ganked by like a Lee Sin, Silas, then even though you're so far ahead, you probably won't be making it out too well. Let's look at that a little bit more. So here, Rengar's 3 out of 4 ferocity. He can get a jump with the grass back and get max ferocity. And then Jax doesn't counter-strike in time to block the damage, so Rengar just runs back to the bush, cleanses the stun with his power W, and with the extra stack you get from being in the bush, he has enough for another full combo on Jax, right? Got that double Q combo, and a little close, but he knows his damage. Katarina's popping off bot side. It's looking pretty much game over for Red Team here. Turret plates aren't even down and they're already at top in Hib turret. it's a little sketchy for Rengar to try to push solo up to the inhib turret, so instead he's going to look for more of a roaming play, maybe catch Lee Sin out in his jungle, or just look for another kill on the Jax here. Just doing the classic split push top.
Red team's turret is
And he's dead.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So blue team is super ahead. All they really have to do is pressure all three lanes at once. That's what they're doing. Gonna get that top inhib off of Rengar's huge lead. Silas sold all his items, so it's looking like it's pretty much game over. Win lane, win game, GG. Really just messing with him here, trying to make some time for his team to get mid inhib. Then they can look for maybe a mountain dragon in it. There goes Terran ult, red team's way out of position. They just get run over.